The Canadian Association for Neuroscience, Dr. Bamji, go ahead, Professor. 5 minutes, please.
Thank you. Good morning, and thank you so much for providing me with this opportunity to speak to you on behalf of biomedical researchers in Canada. My name is Shernaz Bamji, and I'm a neuroscientist and a professor at the University of British Columbia. I'm also the president of the Canadian Association for Neuroscience. But I'm here today to not only speak on behalf of my members, which are over 1,000 scientists doing brain research in Canada, but for all Canadian scientists doing biomedical research. So I'm here to request an increase in our investment of fundamental research in Canada. Now, we all know that investing in research will diversify and strengthen Canada's economy and will create quality jobs. But really, over the past 18 months, we've seen, after we've seen the world ravaged by the COVID-19 virus, it's clear that investing in biomedical research is of utmost importance for the health of Canadians and people around the world. Now, as you know, in Canada, Discovery Science is funded by 3 main granting councils, collectively called the Tri-Councils. Now, we are requesting a one-time 25% increase in Tri-Council funding and a 10% budget increase every year until funding levels are commensurate to other G7 countries. Now, since COVID-19 is front and center on everyone's mind, I'd like to share with you a Canadian success story. It's a story of my colleague at the University of British Columbia, Dr. Peter Cullis, who's had a long-standing career studying lipid nanoparticles, which is a technology that wraps DNA and mRNA in a type of bubble so we can safely inject them into animals and humans. Now, he started working on this back in 1995, but he firmly believed that one day this technology could be important for delivering therapies to patients. Now, along the way, he established collaborations with companies around the world, including BioNTech, which you guys probably know is a company in Germany that worked with Pfizer to generate one of the COVID-19 vaccines. So if you received the Pfizer vaccine, you received a vaccine that uses lipid nanoparticle technology that was developed right here in Canada. I'm proud because I certainly am. And this is just one success story out of hundreds because of the investment Canada has made in fundamental, non-targeted research. And I say non-targeted because we don't know what the next needs of tomorrow will be. But the fact is that Peter was doing his research back when the success rate for funding projects was higher. In 2005, more than 30% of grant applications were funded. Today, fewer than 14% of grant applications are funded. And I can tell you, as the chair of a research panel at CIHR just last week, that there are many outstanding research projects just like Peter's, that will not get funded and therefore not get done. So much of the data is pointing the same way. Canada is the only G7 country whose investments in research and development as a percentage of our GDP have actually been going down steadily in the last 15 years. Canada is now second to last in the G7 with respect to research funding. And so not surprisingly, given this fact, the number of academic researchers like me per 1,000 people in Canada has been going down since 2011. So to show you what we are up against, in 2017, the budget for the National Institutes for Health in the United States was $30 billion US dollars, while the CIHR budget was 1 billion Canadian dollars. They spend more than 30 times the amount we do on research, but our population is only 9 times less. Now, while the 2018 federal budget announced a historic addition of $689 million to Tri-Council funding, for which we are incredibly grateful, it is little more than just a half of what was recommended by the Fundamental Science Review report, which was commissioned by the government in 2017. Now, without this critical increase in funding, we will not be able to compete on the world stage. We will not be able to contribute to the next global health crisis like we did with SARS and COVID, and there will be a next time. Canadian researchers are really ready to put in the hard work, and we really now look to you to help fund this work. Thank you so much for listening.